Hey, yo, it's been a long time since you got big with trucker, man. Y'all already know what time it is, man. So, we've been on a hiatus a little bit, but we back at you, man. We've been on a little short hiatus. I know, man. I've been getting a lot of questions about YRC Freight, what's been going on. I got a special guest, 2trailer trucker in the house. He has the website that helps out a lot of YRC drivers. So y'all definitely need to tune in and get this info, get this game. I've been getting a lot of questions from you guys, man. I've been doing something new at the job, man. I've been doing some safety stuff, and I really haven't had a lot of time for this, but we're going to try to get this information out to you guys. So with no further ado, we about to bring one of my favorite I guess cyber guys, one of my favorite website builders, 2trailer trucker, very informative website. If you work for YRC Freight, you need to hop on this website, man. He has everything on there from the union contract, directions. He even has video directions on how to get to one of the worst terminals. I guess these are one of the terminals that everybody gets lost at, or everybody is pretty much scared to go to, which is Pittsburgh. He has video directions. So let's get him on. Let's get him on, the 2trailer trucker. With no further ado, let's get it, man.
How you doing, Bake? That's quite a build up there. I feel a lot of pressure.
I heard that, man. What's been new with you, man, since last time we chopped it up?
Well, a lot of things are changing and will be changing at work. With the ultimate consolidation of Holland, Redaway, and New Pen into YRC Freight to turn into One Yellow is what they're calling it. So when those things happen, I have to adjust as well. And I've made the website now to where everything is together all in one place. So that way, one-stop shopping. And if you're belong to any of the regional companies, I want to say come on over, take a look at the website, because the things that are on there, not just for YRC, but for the others too. So, like you said, it's very informative, and we're embracing everybody.
Nice. So you updated the new pin terminals. You have directions to those as well, or?
Yes, I've had them on there for about a year now. New
Okay.
Pen, Redaway, and believe me, Redaway killed me. There are a lot of terminals in California and Washington and Oregon, but all the terminals in the yellow family are listed on there. The directions, the terminal information, all that has been updated. So it's just one-stop shopping.
Nice, man, because they had some rumors going on. I guess a lot of people don't understand how media works. Negativity grabs the news. Somebody put out an article, and a lot of people don't realize anybody could make an article and put a title on it. They just said yellow is closing terminals. They didn't talk about the consolidation of the terminals. They didn't speak on none of that. They said, it was down in the article, but the headline, and most people read the headlines, and then that's it, man. But the rumor, it grew some legs for a while. I had to kind of get out. I hate defending a company, especially being a union member. But sometimes, when you hear, misinformation, sometimes you got to speak on it, man.
Right. First of all, Eric just commented, what's the website URL? I know that one by heart. It's the number 2 trailer trucker, just like you see down here on the screen, .com. 2trailertrucker.com. One of the things that I have done since day one of the website, and basically I've always done, is I go with what I see on paper and what I know to be as fact. To get caught up in the rumors, especially around this company or any company really, is counterproductive, leads to ulcers and people jumping ship and all that. So I've always dealt with what's on paper, what I see, and then go on from there. Uh, I've read the latest shareholder the first quarter results, and the time frame for all this is by the end of the year. So what I could have done is just waited, or I chose to be proactive and get all this done now. And if they do close, and they are going to be closing some terminals down, due to the simple fact is it's not productive to have two terminals within a block of one another or in a close proximity to one another to handle an
Right.
area.
Yeah, I've been
So
to the
yeah,
Dayton,
but
Ohio terminal in Holland. What is that? Is it Dayton?
right across the
Right.
it's
It's
right
like,
across the
come on,
street.
why? It's like,
Right.
why? It's the same company, you know.
Well, it's just like here in Indianapolis, we have the line haul, big facility here in Indy. Holland is in what used to be the roadway terminal. Now,
Okay.
the facility that YRC is in has a massive garage, which you've seen,
Right.
and the Holland terminal has a 2-bay garage, and one of them is used for forklifts. So they couldn't do the maintenance that that they can do here in Indy. So in that case, will they keep both terminals? I could see that happening. Then just what they're saying is instead of having two drivers going to the same customers, they would break it up by zip codes. This terminal you handle this zip code, the other terminal you handle these zip codes,
Okay.
and we'll get the freight to move it. So that's what they're saying they're going to be doing. And really, I said I'm not a cheerleader. I'm just dealing reality. But
Right.
that does make sense, in my opinion.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense because it seems like they're running on top of each other. I mean, you ask
Right.
me, it's like,
Right. I mean, as long as the freight gets delivered, don't bust it up. If freight gets delivered on time, customers happy, they'll use us again. That's how we build job security. Is there
right.
going to be tension? Is there going to be like everybody's on edge until we actually see it on paper.
Right.
Excuse me. We see on paper what's going to happen.
Right.
So, and you also have to realize too, we're not exactly have a load of drivers at both facilities. Every facility is certain for drivers. So, like I said, the uncertainty of the situation is what people are more on edge about. Me included.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's normal. You're just human. So until we actually see what's going to affect our terminal, everybody's going to be,
Right.
the rumor mill will be going to 110%.
Right. I mean, some people say it's going to be a better situation. Some people say it's going to be worse. Nobody likes change, but I kind of see with their vision, because their vision is because the way that it's set up now, they have to run sleeper teams, hotels, um, uh, I mean, departure times are crazy. Getting the trailers loaded with the new system is going to be more meet and turns. This is their vision. Um, Getting rid of the hotels.
Well, not all of them, but I understand they're
Not
going to
all of
cut
them, yeah,
back.
but,
They're
but,
going to
but that's supposed to
go
be
to
their
meat
vision.
terms, right?
You know, that's supposed to be their vision. So, I can see that making it a better job for some, but some people like the hotels. You
Well, you
know,
got to realize when you deal with newbies or people coming on board,
right,
and I talk to some of them, um, you got to look at what they're looking at as far as the competition. You know, you got the Old Dominion, Sayas, Conway. I mean, I still call it Conway to this day, XBO.
Right.
And those drivers work meet and turns. I was talking to one Old Dominion driver a few years, recently, a year or so ago, and he could not wrap his head around the fact that we go to bed at a hotel instead of turning around going home every night. And if the driver wants to work here, but I'd rather be home every day. I'd rather work Monday through Friday. Well, this job, this company, they're not going to look at. Now,
Right.
there are some of us, like me, that don't mind going out and staying out 2 or 3 days. Fourth day, nah, I'm ready to go home. But it don't bother me. It hasn't for the 20 years I've been here. Going on 20 years I've been here.
Right.
So it all depends on the person. We got to get the drivers in. Now, everybody's saying you get weekends off and Monday through Friday. Well, this may be one way of doing that, but we'll see.
Yeah, it would be nice. It would be nice for some drivers,
Well, I would
be able
love
to
to
do
be
this
able
type
to.
of easy work. Yeah.
Oh, I would love to be able to work when the sun shines 70 degrees year round. I would love that, but that's not what trucking is. Trucking is, you go out there on December 31st, just like you do on August 31st. You have to adapt to the weather. Now, if the roads are real bad and, you don't feel comfortable out there, okay, don't run. However, you're going to run nights, you're going to run rain and all that, no matter what company you work for.
Yeah. Yeah, you're definitely going to get some inclement weather driving a truck. So,
Yeah. We can't do nothing about that.
yeah, especially LTL work. You're going to start off. You're going to do some night. You're going to do some night shifts. You're gonna do a lot of night shifts. Over here, you're gonna sleep in hotels. I mean, it's it could be a fun job, and it can be a fun job, but some people are miserable at it. So
It's just like with any job. It is what you make it to be. If you're a miserable person, then it's going to be a miserable job. If you go in, and this is what I tell new people, I said, you go to work, you keep an open mind, an open wallet, because they'll fill that wallet up for you. But if you keep an open mind, nothing takes you by surprise.
right,
It's like they're at your terminal. They'll say, okay, Mr. Brandon, you're going home through Knoxville. Well, I get to work. Yeah, you're going to Knoxville, but there's nothing on there about me going home. And I kind of know that. So I get to Knoxville. Guess what happens? We don't have any Indy freight for you. You're going to have to go to Nashville. Okay. You always, with any trucking job, really, especially here, you got to keep an open mind. And it's great if you have a spouse that understands that. If the spouse is on you to be home, well, Jimmy's going to have a birthday party tomorrow night. Are you going to be home? You just shrug your shoulders. I hope. But,
that's trucking, man. It's always been my motto. I mean, even before I started LTL years ago, is your spouse has to be on board with you. There's no promises. There's going to be a lot of disappointments in trucking. Whether you're home every day, even if you're home every day, you might have to work a day that you don't want to work. You might have to go in on a Saturday. You might have something planned on a Saturday, so you got to go in on a Saturday. But the same with us, you might have to run that extra run, and all plans are canceled. You
right.
understand? So I try to tell people, especially new guys, when you get in the truck, and let your family know, let your wife know. Listen, I'm a truck driver. There's going to be some disappointments somewhere down the line where I'm going to
Right.
have to work. Where I said, I know I said I was going to be off, but guess what? I got to work. So
Right.
you know,
And I've been very fortunate. 30 years in September. She said yes the day I started driving a truck. And she come from a family of truck drivers, union truck drivers. And they took her to the side and said, this is what you're going to be getting into.
right.
And she's been very good about that. There's times and she's wished I'd be home and it didn't work out. But like I
Well,
said, I'm a very good lady, and
yeah.
that takes a lot of pressure off of me.
Yeah, I tell you, man. My wife, she drove with me. We ran team for a little while. She stayed out here for about a year and a half with me. That's all we could stand of each other in that funk. And
That's a
I
year
tell
and a
you,
half more
man,
than we would have lasted.
I tell you, she understands the job. You know what I'm saying? It used to be like complaints like why this, why that, but she understands, now that she was out there. We had come from for instance, we came from California. We was out there for about a week and a half. We finally get back to Atlanta. My wife, we were young. I was probably around 32. She was in her probably around 20, about 27, 28. So she was still fairly young. And she was like, it's a Friday. We get to Atlanta Friday morning. We go to Fresh Express, deliver some letters, and normally we would go home. We would be home about 1 o'clock in the afternoon. Well, they needed us to go pick up a load of something else, about 20 miles away, and we sat there for about a day and a half. So
Mhm.
she had all
Been
kind of
there.
plans to get her hair and nails done. She just wanted to get out of the truck, and she planned things with her girlfriends. So she understands when I say something pops up, and
Well, it's just like she would ask me, well, when are you going to be home? And to this day, so like eventually.
yeah, I
So
mean that's pretty much it.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah, but you definitely got to have that understanding.
Uh,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
that's
How's the road been treating you, man? I ain't been on the road for about a month and a half now, man.
well, I went through a big old monsoon the other day coming back from Memphis, and it really got my attention. It's one of those times when I wish I'd followed my father's advice and become an accountant. And but got through it. Everything's been good. Everything's been good. Uh,
Right,
running a lot and keeping the website up. So
right.
we're uh,
Nice.
we're just purring along there.
Yeah, man. 2trailer trucker. Y'all make sure y'all go check them out. And you got the Facebook group also, right?
Yes, there's two Facebook pages, 2trailer trucker, which is open to everybody. If you want to go on there and like or follow it, and that is stuff that I see that I post on there as far as road conditions, weather, something that will be of interest to you. There is a Facebook group, a private group that I'm very picky, and my moderators are even more picky on who we allow in. And that's called 2trailer trucker, 2trucker, number twos each time.
Okay.
And what that is for yellow employees only.
Okay.
And that is a way for them to post something on there that I may not know about or questions using the same 2trailer format, trucker format, which is information. Nobody's blaming anybody, no opinions. We just deal with information. Uh, and that's the way they like it. And I'm getting new users every day on it. But but if you're not part of the yellow family, and why not? Um, then go to 2trailer trucker. You'll see. I just posted something on there about the road closure somewhere. I have to take a look here. See here, weather conditions and all that. So definitely
Nice.
go on there and I just don't concentrate on the east middle part of the U.S. around Indianapolis. I have links for everywhere, or I try to, and keep everybody up to date.
Yeah. Hey, Zay did it, man. It's called 2trailertrucker.com.
Number just like it's shown there on the screen, 2trailer trucker, then .com.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, very informative website, especially if you work over here at YRC Freight. I mean that's pretty much what it's catered to. Matter of fact, KDS. Let me do a shout out. We got KDS in the house. We got S125, Eric Williams, what's going on, brother? We got Alan, we got Brandon, what's going on, nephew? We got Rob BX, what's happening, bro? Let's see, checking in Zay Diddy, he's checking in from Holland, so you definitely got some Holland information up there now, right?
Oh yeah, all the terminals are on there. If you go to the terminal information, what that does, that provides you with the mailing address and the phone number. Holland has been using two two letter abbreviations for their terminals. They're going to be going to three numbers. And if you go on the terminal information and you don't know what number such and such terminal is, you can look on there, and I break it down by numbers and alphabetically. So that way, if you don't know what a terminal number is, you can look at it and say, oh, okay, it was that one. The GPS address, that's where you can punch it up. And the address on there may be different than the mailing address. That's because, as you know, Bink, the address goes to the gate of the terminal, not the mailing address, but the gate. So your smaller terminal, there'll be no difference. Your larger terminals, where the end gate could be on a different street than the mailing address, then you'll see a different street on there. I had one driver down in Memphis last week, shook my hand, was happy to see me, and said that he went to Laredo, and I guess within a matter of feet is the Mexican border, so you don't want to miss that driveway. Nice. And he said the website, he said, got him right to the gate. And I get a lot of comments from new drivers and old drivers who just can't believe that it gets them right to the gate. So that's the difference between the terminal information and the GPS address. GPS address also comes with weather for the terminal. So if you press on the weather, you can see what the forecast is, what the weather's doing now, and the forecast for 3 or 4 days down the road.
Nice. So you could do some real trip planning with that too.
Yes. I do recommend, though, that when people use the GPS address, to use a truck-oriented GPS. I have not had any instances, except for Pittsburgh, which you mentioned earlier, where people click on it and they've gotten to the terminal and they haven't delivered a bridge or gotten in over their head. Pittsburgh was the exact opposite. It was giving people problems. So I took that link off of there, and you basically have to watch the video. Because too many drivers were just going by their phone, ignoring what I was telling them. And next thing you know, the tow truck company is making a few $100s. Yeah.
They're making a killing out there. Jeez.
But like I tell you, if you're new and you're still trying to build up some money, I get that. You don't have to buy a $600 and $700 GPS unit that also a tablet that you can watch YouTube and all that on it. You don't need that. Go on there, buy a $200 5-inch GPS unit. Update it as soon as you get. Don't even take it out of the box and use it. Take it out of the box. Update it. Make sure everything's loaded on there from the company, from the GPS company. Then you can put it in the windshield. Like I said, you go on Amazon, you can buy a $200, $300 5-inch Garmin diesel, which is what I did a few months ago. And then you use the GPS address and it'll take you to the gate. Using the GPS on your phone, that's for a car. And a car is not 13 feet 6 inches high. It is not 60 some feet long.
No, sir.
So I try to stress that as much as I can. Everything's great on there, but please use it for what it's intended for.
I tell you, man, hate is a strong word, but I hate GPSs, man. I hate that we have to use that. I'm using the map, and I like the map and a nice phone call. Hey, I'll map my way to the customer, and then I'll use the phone call. How do I get off the highway into your facility? I mean, it just worked out perfect. You never ended up in these crazy neighborhoods.
It still does. It still does. I tell people, especially new people, I said the first thing you want to do If you're going to a place and you've never been to it before, just say out loud, how do I get to this terminal? And you will get 6 different answers, and all of them will be right.
Right.
Second, get a locator from dispatch. Now that, some of them are good, some of them aren't worth the paper they're printed on. Sometimes if you see uh, MapQuest on there for their map, you're in trouble. The
Right.
third is the website. With the
Mm.
website, if you utilize it as a tool and not as an end all, it's a tool. And you can go on there, you can see the gate where the gate is, you can, scroll out and see what's around there, what landmarks are. You brought up earlier the video directions. I've expanded on that with a few more. Nashville, I've done, and quite a few others that are notorious for being a little difficult to get into. St. Louis, I've had that on there. And that is where you're basically sitting in the driver's seat and you're looking at everything I look at. Some of them are some of the first ones I made are a little crude or rude. Otherwise, not as flashy as some of the later ones. Nashville, I did a real good job on that. And yes, I'm patting myself on the back on that one.
Go ahead and do that, man.
But so, like I said, these are tools. Nothing substitutes for getting the directions from another driver who's been there, because they'll tell you everything you want to know, including what restaurants are good to pull into, take your break, and everything. Nothing beats that. Nothing.
Yeah, I had a big help, man. I asked the driver how to get into. I had the GPS, but I like to, go back and ask the driver. You got
Right.
to do your trip planning. I went
Yes.
to this prison. I went to Beaver, West Virginia. Beaver, the prison. What is it? I guess Beaver
Beckley,
Federal.
West Virginia.
Oh Lord, man! And I thought I seen a big rat, but it was a beaver right on the dock because I went looking for the paperwork.
Let me
And
tell you a story about Beaver. I'm glad you brought that up because I was running the GPS and you come off 64, go down
uh,
about 3 or 4 miles, and I took the wrong ramp. And I've got
ooh,
my GPS going. And all of a sudden, I'm looking down there and I'm saying, I don't recognize this place. I've been there a few times. And so I look down my GPS, it says mileage to destination, 7 point something miles. Well, it's not that far off the interstate.
no.
And all of a sudden, the shoulders start tensing up. You start stressing out. I've got a set of empty pups. Then I'm seeing road construction, down to one lane, going over bridges and such. And finally, I got myself back on 64, and I'm saying, let's do this again. Hopefully, we'll do it right. So even if you're a 2-trailer trucker guy, and even though if you do have an up-to-date website, I mean, not website, but GPS unit like I had, it still happens. And like I said, I tell people, I said, you'll be cussing yourself up one side down the other, and then 3 or 4 days will make a heck of a good story.
Oh man, look, somebody got a question for you. You said, "How about video directions to Kearney, New Jersey, man?" You
I
got
would love that. I would
yeah,
love that, George. Um, all you got to do if your GPS unit has a dash cam, or if you have a dash cam, record it. I do it from the interstate or from I-95, and hopefully, preferably daylight, because that way you can see what's around there. In fact, last time I went to Kearney, it's a good thing the video wasn't going because you would call me in a bad situation. I would love to get Kearney. I would love to get inside New York City to Brooklyn and all those terminals there.
yeah.
So if you can get it to me, George is on 2-trailer truckers Facebook pages. If you can get those, shoot me a note and I can put them on there.
Nice.
So
Nice. It's
what
funny.
I
I just
always
seen a guy called his name. I think he's up on top. KDS. He's a sellout. He used to be he used to be an LTL driver. Man, he went to the fuel hauling side, but they have this thing called Slack over there, where I don't. I think it's. I don't know if it's some kind of phone service or some kind of. I mean, if you're in here, help me out with that. I think, or some kind of. I think it's a messaging service for all of the like loves drivers, and they can kind of communicate throughout the whole system throughout the night, where drivers can find terminals or what's going
Right.
on in the system, and they get a little messy on there. It seems like, but um, that
Well,
would be something good, for us, especially with these new guys.
what's funny is I was just looking at the comments from George. He says, "I always miss that exit going in there." Okay, if you're Catholic or not, I'm gonna give a confession here. Last time I went in there, I got in the wrong lane, and I ended up going following the sign that said racetrack. And
Mm,
what that is, that takes you into an underground dock system. And I had a set of pups. And I'm
jeez.
looking up, and I stopped short because I didn't know if I could get underneath there. Finally, security found me, and I had him get up in front of me. I said, "If you think this tractor is going to hit anything, stop me." I have pictures of it. I still keep it. Just keep my ego down.
Wow.
And he got up there. He goes, "You're going to make it, but go real slow." At 4 miles an hour, I put on the brakes. That was too fast for my liking. And I got out of there, got turned around, got back on 95, did it right. Uh, like I said, those things happen to rookies. Those things happen to old timers like me. And
Right.
it's just a matter of how you handle the situation. You know, are you
Right.
going to flip out? You're going to lose your mind over it, and then you make bad decisions, or you just sort of like, okay,
Mm.
what are we going to do here? And believe me, there's a lot of people in Jersey who were not liking me on that Saturday.
Oh, I
And
can imagine, man.
and but it was sort of like, well, move up. No, because well, back up. These don't back up. So
Mm.
when you get caught in situations like that, it's how you handle them that determines if you're a professional or you're a truck driver. And
Exactly. When you're in those situations, especially in New Jersey, whatever you do, do not destroy your driving record. A lot of times we get nervous, we get scared. You're up there, especially if you've never been up north. You just started driving a truck. A lot of times you just want out of that situation.
right,
Do not destroy your driving record. In worst case scenario, your company they'll order a tow truck to get you out of that situation. They don't want to pay for no property damage and take the chances of getting sued. So they don't mind paying a little 600, maybe $1,000 tow bill. Um, they might look at you a little weird, a little strange, but you get to keep your driving record clean. They spend a
well,
little money, they might send you a write up or something. I don't know, but I wouldn't care about none of that as long as your driving record is clean. Just
it's
keep
just
your
like
driving record clean.
it's just like what I tell people. I say, if you're on a road and you don't think you're going to make it, look for a hotel, which you can too on the website, and call in and say, "I'm not going to make it. I'm going to bed here." Yeah, it's going to inconvenience the supervisors because they have everything planned out 10 hours in advance.
Mm,
But by the same token, too, you're working another day. Now, if you're in over your head and you think you got to make it, you got to make it, then something's going to happen and then you're going to be off work a while. So I'd rather inconvenience a supervisor and work another day than try to push it into a situation where I'm not familiar with or not comfortable with.
exactly, man. And being at a union shop like we are over here at Yellow, unlike a lot of non-unions, they can't. They might hold a grudge against you. They might be able to mess with you just a little bit, when it comes to dispatches, but it's not. But if you catch it, you know, they got some questions to answer, and there's not like a lot of revenge because I've worked at a lot of non-union places where
I
they
have
will
to.
give you those revenge loads and keep you out there extra day. They get some revenge on you. Being at a union shop, you don't have to worry about a lot of that, revenge
The,
but
the, the,
they can still play with you a little bit. But if you're on your P's and Q's, you'll catch it right away.
it's just like what I tell people. I said, you got to be consistent. The supervisors up and down the road, they know me. Yeah, they look at my name. They'll go, okay, this is, he gets the loads there always a little bit early. He's good to he's good to his word. If anything happens, he'll let us know way in advance. He don't surprise us. Uh, if something happens, and I always call him up, say, hey, here's what's going on. I'll let them know 2 or 3 hours in advance, so that way they can plan for it. But the important thing is to always be consistent, so that way they know when they see your name on a sheet or whatever, they know what to expect. If you're going to take 14 hours to go 500 miles, they're going to know that eventually, and they're
Right.
going to plan accordingly.
Exactly. Yeah. They can make plans,
Yeah, because
when
we're in the
certain
we're in
loads
the
drop.
we get paid. People think we get paid for sightseeing. Well, yeah, there's a little bit of that involved, but we're paid to get freight from A to B safely. And
Exactly.
sometimes people lose that sight. I
Mm.
try to get it from where I'm going to wherever I'm going safely, get it in there consistently. Anything happens, let them know so that way they can plan. Then that way, if they say, well, take as far as you can, go to bed. Okay. They know what I'm doing. I know what I'm going to be doing. There's no pressure at that point. If a
Right.
supervisor will get mad at you is when you surprise them, at the last second. Then that's when they'll get a little bit of vindictiveness in them. And they're human.
Right.
You expect that.
Yeah, you got some terminals that they take in they freight might be a little hotter than others because I've noticed. I'm not gonna name the terminal, but it's some we have a terminal in the south that they always timing you, and I mean if you're 5 minutes past your ETA, it's just like, look, man, do you know what ETA stands for? Estimated time of arrival. That means if I'm 5 minutes late, we don't have appointment time. I got to remind them, but we're not going to name that terminal.
Right.
Like, look, man, I'm right on time. I'm right within my ETA. Now if I come in 2 or 3 hours late, nah, you got something to worry about.
Right.
Yeah, but I mean, I understand how they freight and run out of that terminal. So
Well, it's just like
that stuff has
this.
to move.
I don't want to be a Debbie Downer here, but there was an incident quite a few years ago out of Atlanta where a driver was going down to Valdosta. He was doing a Valdosta turn back when we had the big terminal in Valdosta.
Right.
And he had a heart attack en route, died. Well, everybody saw his truck parked on the side of the road.
Mm,
Dispatch knew he was late coming in. And 9 hours later, they finally found him.
wow.
Now, so, you got to be able to, people on both sides, our side and the supervision side, have to, if something's not right, again, this goes back to consistency. They need to be able to react and act accordingly. Now, with ELBs, they know where we're at all times. So hopefully that will not happen again. But
Right.
but same token, people go, well, they're tracking us. Well, you go non-union, they're tracking you. I've been tracked since I've been started. Driving a truck 20 years ago. It was called Qualcomm. So if you think you're not going to be tracked, then you need to find another line of work because all the companies do that.
Exactly. I mean, on the customer side, litigation side, I mean, it just helps all the way around.
Right.
A lot of people are fearing driving facing cameras. We don't have driving faces. Our cameras are road facing, but I can see it coming. I can see it,
No,
because
no,
it's
no,
it's
no,
probably, I don't know if it's going to be here, but I see it coming across the board. I don't know how
no,
you feel about that.
no. Swift. If anybody on here, correct me if I'm wrong, but a lot of companies are doing away with the inward facing cameras.
Mm,
it's one of those type of situations where too much information is not a good thing.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh, so
Oh, I see what you're saying.
yeah,
It's backfiring on companies
right, right.
pretty much.
So a lot of companies, I think, said Swift. I'm sure there's a few others out there, have stopped using inward-facing cameras because of that.
Mhm.
If you look out the window, that's one thing. But if you can see what the driver's doing, then you better open up the checkbook. And these nuclear verdicts used to be once in a lifetime. Now they're becoming more and more, not the norm. But there's one company, Melvin Keller, out of Illinois. Their driver was involved in an accident, and jury came out with a $10 million verdict against them.
Wow.
And the company filed for a Chapter 7 reorganization. Chapter 7, I forget which, 7-Eleven. Sounds like a Speedway truck stop now.
Right.
But they had to declare bankruptcy because that was just too much for them to handle.
Right.
So again, the inward facing cameras, I think, are going by the wayside, in light
Yeah.
of the nuclear verdicts and such.
Right. Yeah, I understand that, but I'm coming from the with I guess the government mandating it. I'm coming from that angle. I know the companies probably don't want it, but it's just like the ELD. Warner was running ELD for years, and everybody was like, "Nah, that's not gonna happen."
That
Next
was
thing you
Werner.
know,
That was Werner. They were
yeah,
the
Warner,
right.
yeah. Yeah, and everybody was like, "Oh, that's not going to happen." Next thing you know, it's all across the board. When the rumors were coming, "Oh, it's going to be in every truck." Oh, no, it ain't. They're not going to be able to move freight, if they do that. But I mean, it's hard to argue with it if you're doing what you're supposed to be doing with your logbook. I mean, either logbook, ELD, it shouldn't matter because you were supposed to be legal anyway, right?
Well,
So
it's just
it's just like with the inward facing cameras, you're supposed to be focused on the road and looking in your mirrors and not eating and texting and driving. It's hard to argue once the government get involved. Like what you mean? Like you're supposed to be a safe driver. Like how can you argue that point? It's going to be a hard fight. But I see it coming. But like you said, as far as companies looking at it right now, when it comes to litigation, I'm pretty sure it's backfiring because the
yeah.
lawyers are going straight for that.
And on the other side, on the outward facing camera, those have saved the companies millions upon
Yeah,
millions of dollars in litigation and in judgments because, you know, car backs into you or as I had happen to me, a car brake checked me going into a truck stop.
well,
Well, the camera went off even though I didn't slam on my brakes. I was going slow enough. I knew what he was going to be doing. You look on YouTube, you can watch all the videos on people brake checking trucks.
right,
Uh, but the camera went off. Now, if I were to have hit him, I could say, hey, he brake checked me. Well, there's the camera. They're going to do that, turn and go, hey, your guy brake checked our truck. Now let's talk about settling up here on our end.
right,
Because it's going to be on the car's fault, not the truck's, the company's fault, the company's
right,
liability. It'll be on the car's liability.
right.
So again, people are afraid of technology. There's people that did not want anything to do with power steering when they first. I'm serious. When they started coming out with them well, it's that roadway, and they start putting power steering into trucks. There's some trucks that want nothing to do with them.
Wow.
And
I
so, and
can
then
see that.
yeah,
It's the same thing with automatic trucks, man. I didn't like the idea of automatic trucks till I drove one for a while. I'm like, man, I don't want to go back to manual. like, like why? I guess a lot of people see, we have a lot of women in trucking now, and I think that was a lot. It took like the toughness out of it, with the power steering and the automatic trucks now kind of take the toughness out of it, Because
I
truck
re-
drivers want to look tough, shifting and turning that that steering wheel without the power fluid, steering fluid going through it. Um,
I remember, I
good.
think it was night back then, starting to go with automatic transmissions, and this has been 20 years ago, something like that. And I remember reading an article, and they said it was so that grandma and grandpa who have retired can drive a truck. And if you think about that, yeah, I could
Yeah,
see that. Now we have
yeah,
now fast forward to today, where uh, people are getting their driver's license are driving auto. That's all you can find anymore is an automatic car. And you put them in something with a 10 speed, and they're going to go, "What's that?" And I know some terminals who have put on driver's cards must drive automatic. Now, I went to a satellite of Indianapolis, Terre Haute, Indiana. It brings back memories for you. And I had a standard manual transmission going there, swapped out tractors, came back with another. And I hit all the gears just perfectly, never lost it. But
see,
that's it. But there are drivers who have never in their lives, let alone trucking careers, have driven a stick shift. So yeah, you've got to go with the times. And
exactly.
people say, well, you're not a truck driver unless you drove an 18 speed with two sticks and all that. No, no, no. You adapt to the technology because it's safer. It makes it easier. You're not beating yourself up and all that. So I don't see things that way.
Right. Yeah, man. I've been putting a lot of trainees with trainers, and a lot of them they don't want no parts of a stick. I'm like, you gotta have this. You gotta have this manual training because you never know. You get to a terminal somewhere up north, and they might have a container coming back to the south, or that might be the only truck they have available. I need you to know how to drive this truck.
Right.
I mean, they hate it, but and they end up liking it after once they learn the rhythm. Once they get the rhythm, they
Well,
end up.
it's just like anything else new. People are going to be apprehensive. If you're going into a terminal you've never been into before, I don't. If you drove up to Indianapolis, you know how to get up here. But you remember the first time you came up here?
Oh yeah,
Yeah, or you had to go to Chicago out of Indianapolis. You
yeah,
know, you're on edge. That's normal. But how you get yourself out of that edge is you go up there, you pull up your pants, and you do it. And you
yeah.
learn the standard transmission. You learn how to get to Chicago or to a rail yard up there. And it's just a matter of repetition and just, like I said earlier, keeping an open mind.
Do you have directions in the Cicero?
Yes. Yeah, I
Uh,
have I have a lot of rail yards in there. Uh,
okay,
and yeah, all the rail yards in Chicago and the ones I can get out through from other drivers who have sent them
right.
to me, and I put them on there. So I
Because
have
a
them
lot of
for
times they send
Dallas,
you in that
Memphis.
right. Because a lot of times they send you in the Cicero, and then they got other little terminals around Cicero. That it's about three or four of them. Oh, they sent me on
Uh,
a mission one night, man.
let's
Like you got to be kidding me.
see, they have Montgomery, Wheeling, Bolingbrook. Those are about the only satellites they have now in South Bend. It's not a
Okay,
satellite, but it's close enough.
right.
Milwaukee. So yeah, it's been a long time since I've been to Wheeling or to Montgomery. I would definitely need the website to help me with that one. But, but I said it's just one time I was back in the day they're having me go from one rail yard to another, and I said, well, put a shuttle driver on there. I want to know how to get from one to the other without delivering a bridge. And he got on there. He told me how to go up there, and I've never thought about going that way, but it was easy, and I got right there. So
Yeah.
it worked out. But like I said, whenever you go somewhere new, you're going to be on edge. And that's one of the things I
Right,
try to
exactly.
do with the websites, take some of the anxiety away from the driver.
Right.
Give them all the information they need. That way they can go, okay, I get it. I see what I need to do here. And if it takes, half of
Yeah,
the anxiety out, then I've had a good day.
yeah. And that's the thing, man. Information is key, man. Let me give a shout out, man. Shout out to Richard Shoemaker. What's going on, bro? Dirty Broke. I see you, and I just looked at that 19 group, man. I see what's going on in there, man. Oh man, the homie about to get married. Um, yeah, man. Yeah, Shoemaker and Dirty, they work over there at Loves, man. Them sorry gas haulers, man.
I had one of
Yeah.
them try to recruit me one time there in Richmond, Indiana. And I told him, I said, well, I delivered gas for
Oh
4 years. And he stopped talking to me. So
man.
that's a,
Jeez.
that's it. There's nothing quite like hauling fuel. There really isn't. That's a totally different discipline. And you've got to
Right.
bring your A game with you.
Yeah. You definitely got to find your niche in trucking, man. It's a lot to do in this game. It's called trucking, man. But I love it, man. I love this game. I kind of miss it, man. They done pulled me out of there for about a month and a half now. So, well, I'm loving getting home. I just hate the commute. The commute is kind of,
Yeah.
I done found my rhythm, man. Just throw my music on. I was taking all kind of back ways and shortcuts. And everybody else had the same idea. I find it just go ahead and get into traffic, turn my music up, find me a good talk radio or radio station, and just kind of, you know,
Right.
fight through it, man.
I've done some training where I had to be there. I usually like working nights when I have to work in the terminal. I was training for the ELD, and I would be in there at night answering questions, going over things with drivers. And I always found myself having to take a 30-minute nap because, like I said, it takes some getting used to.
Yeah,
You want to go out, you want to do something. Instead, you're stuck. And
right.
when you're a truck driver, you hate being stuck.
Yeah,
Yeah,
with eyeballs on
working.
you all day.
Yeah,
It's like you're always, I guess, because driving truck, we don't realize it. Like we're always working. When you're in that office and you run out of things to do, it's just like, uh-oh. I'm looking around like, am I supposed to be,
well,
doing this? But
when I was working for the gas tanker company, I was driving 3 days a week, and I was dispatching 2 days a week on the weekends. And Friday afternoon, I couldn't wait to get back in that office on Saturday. And Sunday afternoon, I couldn't wait to get out, so I go back on the road on Monday.
right.
So, so I
Yeah,
had the best of both worlds at that point. But
nice. Yeah,
I understand I understand, for that year and a half I did that, I understand what supervisors go through. And I tell them
Oh
that.
yeah.
I hated surprises.
Right. And
And so I
you get
tried
all of
not
the
to do that.
gossip. Yeah, and you get all of the gossip. I know a little bit too much about some of everybody and some of everything that's going on there, man. It's crazy.
Bink,
Yep.
they're wanting to buy your house.
Want to buy my little house, man?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh man, it's just
They're gonna
this
give you
fucking
a top dollar for it.
crazy, man. Oh, I'm telling you, y'all can have this bad boy, man. I got trees got to come down. I got all kind of stuff I got to do around here, man.
I
Little
told
house
them,
on the
heck,
prairie.
I've been here 29 years. I said, I've already got the hole dug from my grave. I'm not going anywhere.
Yeah, yeah, I'm the same way, man. I ain't going nowhere, man. I've been here since what, man, '06. Sheesh. Yeah, good years. About 16. Yeah, going on 16 years. Sheesh.
uh, the comments on here. Anybody has a question about the website, please put them on here because I'm here and I can answer your questions. Of course, I linked this to the 2trailer Trucker Facebook pages too. I did have a problem with the website for a few months. I think I finally got that taken care of. If you had an Android phone, and I even found out today it happened on an iPhone, where the site was hanging up,
Right.
you were able to do anything. I got that fixed today, and I've
Nice.
talked to a few drivers who had that problem. They said it's working fine now. I just had to rearrange some things.
Right.
So
Okay.
if you've had trouble with it recently, give me another chance. I think you're going to like what you see now. Facebook doesn't like me too well. They're hanging things up on me. I think I got around that, and everything's working good now.
Okay.
The website, everybody says it's my website, and I just paid the bill for another year. So technically, I guess it is mine. But I think of it as I just make a portal available to the drivers. I get, information I get from you and everybody else, go border to border, coast to coast, Holland, no matter what company in the Yellow family. If you notice something or you have a question about something or whatever, I need that information because I can put that on the website and another driver may actually need that. And
Right.
so I make that available to the other drivers, but I can only go so far. So I just think of it, the 2trailertrucker.com, as a website where everybody can participate in. To where, like you said there's a prison in Ocala, Florida.
Oh yeah.
That we'll see if you would send me that information, I'll put it on there.
Okay. Yeah.
But
What you
see,
need? Just
Atlanta may
the
send me down
address?
there, huh?
What do you just need? The address or?
Whatever information you give me, the address of it, and
Okay.
I'll get back with you, and I'll pinpoint it on the map, and you say, yeah, that's it. Then I can put it on there.
Okay.
You be I don't post customers on there
Okay. Yeah. We're
because
not gonna tell them
customers
which
come and
prison.
come and go, and plus that's kind of proprietary. I don't want to get
Right.
into that.
Right.
But rail yards, there's quite a few rail yards on there. Drop pads, whatever. It makes it otherwise. If you go to a place and it's not on the website, don't complain and say, "Well, the website let you down." No, it may have made it that one time, but if you don't let me know, and the website at the bottom of each website, there's a mailbox with a smiley mailbox. Shoot me an email. My email is webmaster@2trailertrucker.com. Send it in. I'll put it on there.
Yeah, that's how we used to do directions. I mean, back in the days, I mean, if you've been to somewhere new at a new customer, you'll get the direction and then they would put it in the Qualcomm system, the dispatcher put it in. And that way,
Right,
when you dispatch another driver there, that driver had that information. So, um, as you get information, if you don't see it on the website, you go to somewhere new or because he's giving information. I mean, we have 317 terminals right now, and they're trying to
yeah,
dumb it down to about 309.
right,
There's a lot of terminals that we don't know anything about that you could just shoot them an email and give them information about that terminal, whether
right.
it's in New Jersey, Maine, or Alaska, wherever.
Now all the terminals are on the website, all of
Okay,
them.
okay.
So you don't have a
But as
problem
far as
with
like
that.
video directions or something like that.
Well, I gotta tell people I'm not Steven Spielberg,
Right.
uh, but uh, but the video directions uh, I aim for the ones that are intimidating or
Right.
can be confusing. That's what I was bringing up to George earlier with George's comment.
Right.
The ones that intimidate. Just picture this for a second. I'm a driver. I've got my million-mile post on the wall just by me here. And I work the extra board. I don't go to the same place all the time. So I go to Carlisle and they say, well, we're going to send you to Deer Park. I have no idea.
Yeah, I can tell you how to get to Deer
So,
Park.
okay, but I don't know. And you may be in bed
Right.
asleep somewhere. So you're not going to be able to help me.
Right.
So what the video direction would do, okay, I have to figure out how to get to this point. But once I come off of that, then I know how to get into a terminal. Now, do
Right.
I want to do that? Like I said, I haven't done that for Indianapolis, and that's my home terminal. Why is that? Well, there's two good ways to come in, and they're all fairly simple.
Right.
Indianapolis is not a hard terminal to find. But if some places like I have St. Louis, Nashville, Hagerstown, Maryland, Manassas, Maybrook is a big one I did because if you use a mailing address, you're going to get yourself caught up in a mess. Whereas if you use the website and the video directions, it'll take you right into there.
Okay.
So, otherwise, I kind of pick and choose what terminals I would like to have as far as the video.
Right. So you're looking for difficult terminals to get into.
Terminals that can
Tricky.
be, yeah,
Tricky. I got you.
right. Like I said Hagerstown, St. Louis, Nashville, Pittsburgh, and they'll be moving out of there sometime. I expect probably with them the change of operation with New Penn.
Well, who? Pittsburgh?
Yeah, they that terminal was sold last year, and they're in the process, I think, of moving into another terminal, and they have an extension with the current owner.
Okay.
And I've heard where it's at. It's a lot closer, but I don't know where it's at as far as being able to picture it. But it's nearby, but it's not as intimidating. What I've heard.
Right. So it's pretty much to address all the rumors, it's going to be a consolidation of terminals. Now, some people are probably not going to move, depending on how far the terminals are from their houses, because 10, 20 miles could be a big deal for certain people,
Yeah.
Because I've seen that happen at a terminal down here in Georgia. The Valdosta move over to Thomasville. A lot of people was like, nah, I ain't taking that ride. So then, some people might, leave at their own will, I guess.
How far apart are they? How far apart is Thomasville from Valdosta?
I mean, it's about 30 miles, but it's through the woods and a lot of small towns.
Okay.
Yeah. So, I mean, some people went, and some people, decided to go the other way. And that's pretty much, I mean, you can expect that to happen with some of these consolidations. But, nobody's going out of business. A lot of people looked at it like, Yellow was going, oh, they finally going out of business. They finally.
Well, I worked for Consolidated Freightways for 3 years. I was there at the end, and when they closed up 20 years ago. And I remember I was having lunch with an older driver. He goes, they've been predicting our demise for 30 years. He goes, ignore it, go to work, do the best job you can, and that's what all you can do.
That's it.
And, so, again, an older driver nailed it right on the head. I can't control what they do at Overland Park.
No.
All I can do is I can control what I do behind the wheel of that truck.
Exactly, man. I'm a truck driver. I think I made a video of if the worst thing that could happen is this place closing down and I go find another job, so be it.
Right.
Especially with these new guys that's going to these truck driver schools. If the company closed, you still get to keep that CDL.
Exactly.
So I don't, a lot of don't go there, don't do this, go on and take this opportunity. And I like the way that this company is leveraged. I mean, I don't see him going anywhere. As long as they stay in the game, I don't see him going anywhere.
Well, I've been here, like I said, next year will be 20 years. And I've been through a lot of almost we were dead twice, 3 times. So, like I said, I just try to keep my driving record clean.
That's it.
I'm not perfect, but I try to keep it clean. And, and just, if it happens, you take the punch to the gut, get up, you dust yourself off, get your hair back in you, hit the streets and get another gig.
Exactly, man. They got a large part of this LTL market. So there's going to be a hiring frenzy anyway. So don't,
Right.
That's just the way I'm a half full guy. I don't, and I'm a truck driver. I'm a truck driver. A lot of people try to say they're not. I'm a truck driver, proud of it. I can do union. I can do non-union. I'm gonna have a job. I love driving trucks. I can go over the road. I can go local. I mean, whatever. I love driving trucks. So I mean, I just I just don't see the worry that a lot of people have in this industry.
the biggest mistake people make is when they get to a job, and we're making decent money now,
Yeah.
and there's no denying that. And people go out and they buy themselves a new truck or a new car, and then something happens, and then they're they're in trouble. I live rather frugally. So, to say the least, yes, I'm cheap. But I always live like the company were to shut down today on me. And me and my wife have been to the respective companies. CF shut down and she worked for airline Airlines. And shut down the middle
Wow.
if you're paycheck to paycheck, then that's going to be a tough thing to handle. But if you take care of your finances to where if something like that happens, you have some money stashed away, you're not deep in debt.
Right.
Like I said, you go hit the street the next day, and if you have to take a little bit of a pay cut now for a little bit more security or whatever, then you can handle it.
Right.
If you're bringing home $2,000 a week and your bills are $2,100 a week, then there's going to be a problem.
Yes, sir. It's going to be a big problem. And this is trucking. There's no set pay in trucking. There's only a few jobs where you're going to make 80 to 100 and better a year. There's only a handful that you're going to make that kind of money. Some are better than others. Some you're going to have to put in a little bit more work than others.
I was just looking at
one accident can take you from 120,000 down to 60,000, just like that. One bad decision, load abandonment or something like that, mess up your DAC report, could take you from 120,000 to 40,000, just like that.
If I could, a newbie had like an hour or so, I would show them that video of the USA truck that was looking at that underpass that he couldn't fit under. Have you seen that? And he has a sleeper.
Was that the one that tried to make the U-turn?
Tried to make the U-turn, right?
Yeah. Okay.
And that is a classic case of freaking out and not making good decisions. Because I went back there telling the guy with the dash cam going in the car, "Go back yourself up so I can get out of here." George Powell commented on the diesel may affect us. It's affecting all of us right now. I just got my trash bill, and there was an $8 fuel surcharge on there.
Jeez.
So,
yeah, mine went up $10. Yeah, I just seen that.
Yeah, and I looked at it and go, yeah, mine went up, and it's like I said, I'm cheap. I look at those things, and it was like $8.46 fuel surcharge. So that's why I think we
were buffering for a minute, man. I appreciate y'all letting us know. Toga, T.J. Mose, he said we're clear now, so we're good to go.
I've been hearing just fine. I haven't had any problem on this end.
On our end. I don't know. I got a little weather out here, man. My what you call it?
Rain?
My signal gets kind of weak, man.
Okay.
It's supposed to be raining all week here, so.
Well, I know where they're going to send me tomorrow morning then.
Man, 2trailer trucker, man. I appreciate you stopping by, man. But I got to get some food in my gut, man.
I understand.
Yeah,
so you do a good job with this. Like I said, I've watched some of your videos, and you do a real good job with it.
Man, I appreciate you, man. We tried, man. But y'all was on with the 2trailer trucker, man. I appreciate you stopping by, and we definitely have to do this again, bro.
Anytime, Bink, anytime.
No doubt, man. I'll talk to you later, man. And to the chat, it's your boy Bink, man. We've been going for a minute. We're gonna try to come back a little bit, man, and do my thing, man. But like y'all heard, man, I've been doing something new and trying to get adjusted to this new schedule, this 9 to 5 schedule. It's kind of rough, man, but we're making it happen, man. I enjoy being at home with the wife and things of that nature. But I'm gonna have to holler at y'all, man. I got to get up out my house, man. Peace. Thanks for stopping by, man.